Hello.
Hello, welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 247. It is March 30th, 2015. I keep putting like everything 1981. Like I kept around because today's my birthday. I'm Laura, also known as Lola.
And she's 247
I
today.
am.
Yes.
And when you have to write your birthday, like on every single form, and then it actually is your birthday and you have to write it, I write my actual date of birth, not the actual day of the year.
Yeah.
So my kids were like, Miss Linneman, I don't think it's 1981. No, totally not. I'm 34, so y'all don't have to do the math. You're Leslie, I hear. That's the
Yes.
one on the screen.
It is not my birthday. I'm Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. It is, we already covered this, Laura's birthday, March 30th. And yeah, we're a day late recording, mainly because I just haven't had the knitting mojo this week. I've had a lot of stuff I'm trying to catch up on. So I don't have a ton to show, but Laura's got.
Like you're getting married in less than a week.
Yeah, but I really don't have that much to do for the wedding, so it's just work's been crazy because we're opening a new property later this summer, so
Oh,
we've been
yeah.
busy. Anyway, why don't you show us and talk to us about your progress on your owl, which is a 3 month intensive
Ordeal.
finish-a-thon that you've been working on.
Sure. So I am part of the Harry Potter Knit and Crochet House Cup, which is a group on Ravelry. It's an awesome group on Ravelry, and there are different levels of commitment. The least thing that you have to do is you have to do a class a month and terms last 3 months. So that's the least you have to do is 3 projects over 3 months and one a month. And there's all these extracurriculars that you can do. And one of them is an owl. And so every winter they offer, and it's only offered in the winter term, they offer the detention owl. So I proposed to finish 9 pretty large projects. Some of them were smaller than others. Ones that I have totally finished include a sweater, Washington Square, a pair of socks that have been on the needles for forever, since before Ravelry existed.
Yeah.
What else? My Ishbel shawl,
Mm-hmm.
and then the shawl by Paula of Knitting Pipeline.
The long, skinny one. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, what is it called? No, it's in the show notes from last 2 months ago. So it's a great shawl. All of Paula's patterns are awesome. Gills Rock. There we
Gills
go.
Rock. I was
I
about to go
just
look
think
it up.
about stuff. So those things are all done. So I had 4 projects left to do. I have a set of slippers that just needs to be seamed. So that's like a 20-minute project. That's the last thing I'm going to do. They look like they're actually down here, so I can show y'all.
I just
They
got a
are
mental image of you at like 11:58 stapling them closed.
actually because it's West Coast time. Hogwarts exists
Oh,
West Coast time. I got an extra hour or so if it really gets down to it. So this is the first one. And these are thrums on the inside, which means that you take fleece and you work it in.
hmm.
And the second one is done, except for I just have to pull it through and seam the back
Oh yeah,
and
that's
down.
not even 20
So,
minutes.
yeah, probably at most. We're going to go on the plus, 20
Better
minutes.
safe than
That's
sorry, yeah.
living in a fat squirrel bag. So that's one of the things that has to get done. The second thing that has to get done is a sock called Gills Rock. And all of this is due
A
March
sock,
31st.
it's not Gills Rock.
Oh, no, it's totally not. It's rock steady. Ha ha ha. There was the word rock.
There was.
Um, so this is the first one. The first one was done prior to the owl.
And what is the yarn?
It is hazelnuts. It's really nice, and they're artisan sock base in shinny pants.
Oh, chamois pants, yeah.
There we go. So there's the first one, and these are going to be a Mother's Day present for my mother, and they're being knit on size ones. I'm assuming they're ones. I don't know. I haven't checked the size on them, but that was a period in my life where I did work on size ones, so we're gonna go with that. 2.25 millimeters, and this one was just cast on, and that was it. I like that I can see a gauge change on the row after the cast on. That's awesome. And so here's the second one. The whole leg is complete. The heel flap got done at work today. The heel was turned at work today.
Very impressive.
And because I was a hall monitor, and the gusset got done today at work. So I am on this top gusset decrease. The gusset's actually done, but then the
So you're almost to the
ribbing,
stockinette part.
yeah, the ribbing actually goes down into a V, and it's like the person who designed this wanted it to be super easy. It's one of my designs. It's a freebie. And so you can see that the ribbing is slowly disappearing, that twisted ribbing. So this will fly. I'm going to work on it during the show today. I'm hoping to get it to the stockinette. And then tomorrow it's just going to, I'm a hall monitor again for an hour. And tomorrow's a 70-minute test. So an hour and 10 minutes. So I should be able to zip through a good bit of the foot tomorrow at work. So that is the first thing. So rock steady, and that's in a Ravelry bag.
Oh yeah.
Mama Linneman got me for Christmas one year. I think that's where that came from. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did. Anyway, maybe not. Maybe that was the one we got together. I can't remember. Anyway, so that's the first thing. I should put the sock back in there, otherwise I will lose it, and that would be unfortunate. The second thing for the owl that's still left is the Kirsten Kapoor Algiers shawl. Which side's the right side? It's kind of this side. So it has gotten quite large.
Wow.
It was the mystery shawl. I had 26 rows left in a bind off to finish this one. I have gotten 22 of the 26 rows done. Actually, I had 28. So I've gotten, because there's 2 rows at the end that aren't charted. So I still have 4 rows in the chart left, so I have 6 rows total done. And then there's this crochet bind off that you have to do. So that is tonight's goal, is to get this done. Each row is only taking me around 15 minutes. So it shouldn't be super long. It's over around 300 stitches right now. The yarn is Elf from Woolmiza. I'm a little bit concerned because it's getting...
I think you can do it.
I think it's that crochet bind off that worries me.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Are you allowed to substitute a bind off with your
I
owl?
have to get it cleared today.
Jeez Louise. Reasons I do not participate. I'm sure I'm not saying anything negative about it. It's great. It motivates you to get a lot done.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot finished.
But if you have to clear things through someone else, I'm out.
So we'll see. That is in my fat squirrel bag that was a birthday present a couple years ago. And it's being knit on size 6 needles. And then what else do I have to do? Okay, so 2 things that are not being shown. I'll talk about Irene Adler a little bit later. Jackaroo. Jackaroo is the other thing that I have to finish. Jackaroo has the shoulder seams done.
And that's a sweater by Amy Herzog.
Yes. It's got both sleeves set in. The seaming of the shoulder seams, Barocco has a really good video. I'll link it in the show notes, hopefully. I'll try to remember that. Sleeves, I don't know. We just kind of did that.
It's a hard thing. Yeah.
Like, luckily they were sized pretty similar in sizing, and I blocked them so that they would fit in. But it's like, because you're doing bind off edges to non-bind off edges.
You change direction, like the sleeve is knit like horizontally perpendicular to the garment. So there is no real perfect do it exactly like this way. You just sort of have to fudge it. Yeah.
So and then I tried it on and it fits, hopefully. It does, but like the sides aren't seamed yet, so it's like it really fits now.
So like a swingy cardigan.
Yeah. And I've tried doing tacking down the pocket numerous times. I've not been happy with anything that I've done there, so I ripped that back out, and I'm going to, so I have a side seam like halfway done, but here's with me and seaming. I work on it for 10 minutes, and then I walk away, because if I don't walk away, it's going to be like, whoop, 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 whoop. Like this will be attached to that, like that. It's not a good situation.
It's
so
a know your strength sort of situation.
And patience with finishing is never one of my strengths. So I walked away from that, and that was a good choice. So I have half a side seam done, so it's kind of like I don't want to move it because
So
I'm afraid.
seams left are the other half of that seam, another seam, and pockets.
And pockets. And then collar needs to be picked up and worked. It's only like 4 inches over not very many stitches, so it should go pretty fast. And then it's an I-cord bind off button band on each side.
That's not bad though.
No, I'd
I've
like
gotten
to get
pretty good at I-cord. Not that I can help you, but still.
no, I like I-cord. So I'd like to get the seaming on Jackaroo. So goals for tonight on my birthday because I like being high stress. I should be mowing my lawn and I'm totally not. Until it gets as tall as me, it's totally
Yeah, that's a good rule.
so I'm the neighbor that everyone hates. Actually, my other neighbors haven't mowed their lawn either. So Jackaroo, I'd like to get seamed tonight. If I could get that done, at least the side seams, so I could put like I can just tack down the pockets with safety pins for right now, just because they're just hanging out anyway. So I can just use my big clips that I have that are clover, like the big safety pin style stitch markers. I can just tack that down with that for right now. I'd like to get those seams done and at least the collar done tonight. I'd like to get Algiers done tonight. So that's around 4 hours, 5 hours worth of work.
And we're recording early enough that it's
Oh yeah,
possible,
it's like
sure.
3:30 my time. No, it's 4 o'clock my time. Yeah. So it's totally. I do have a birthday dinner that I'm going to, but whatever. Yeah, I know. My parents
with the parents?
Yes, my parents are treating me to birthday dinner, and they're bringing me a cake. My mom makes an awesome cake. It's called the 1, 2, 3, 4 cake.
Yeah.
It's a family recipe that's been passed down for forever. And so they come over and they're dieting, so they get like slices like that big, and then I get the rest. And that's what I'll eat for the rest of the week.
Well, they're like lifelong Weight Watchers members, right?
They are. Yep, they both lost around 70 pounds on Weight Watchers and have kept it off. Like they've fluctuated a little bit within like 10 pounds, but they've kept it off for like 3 or 4 years now. They look good. I should do that, but I like my big giant cake that looks like this too much. Like
eggs.
Matilda size cake is what I'm going for. Have you ever read the book Matilda?
No.
Oh, it's so good. There's the musical is coming to the Orpheum next year, which is the local theater here in Memphis. Totally not on task. Okay, that's oh no, I have more things I'm knitting. I did have something new on.
Because when you're under a deadline, the logical thing.
Here's the deal. Rocksteady was because it's cabled on the side, it was at no point where I could take it to work. And I've been testing at work. So there's this time period where my kids were finishing their test. And then there was like half an hour before the test could be turned in. So I was sitting there, or I was proctoring, and the proctors like wait with the kids while the test administrator takes up all the cell phones, and they walk down to this room and they get their test and they're escorted back. So that's like a 10-minute process. So I sat and knit. So I actually have 2 new things to show. Well, 1 old thing and 1 new thing. So this is some yarn my sister-in-law gave me for Christmas. It is Knit Circus, and it's a gradient. So it starts with this gray, it goes to this pink. It is in the Come What May colorway.
Oh, that's the one that Susan just did her shawl.
Yeah. So it comes in 2 little cakes like this, so I can knit all the way to the end. So it starts with the gray, and then goes pink, then goes to white, then goes to gray again. So, and it's got kind of like this striping effect that's going on.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool, and that's on size 1, 2.25, not carbons. Knitter's Pride Novas.
Yep.
But not the superb
not the
Platina Novas. Yes, the regular Novas. And I'm magic looping that. And that's in a fat squirrel bag that I got.
And that's for a niece because they're tiny.
No, it's real sized.
Seriously? Because it looks pretty tiny.
It does look tiny, doesn't it?
I feel like that's a niece sock.
No, that would totally fit someone's foot. That's not.
Okay. It's wider than it looked initially.
It's 56 stitches, which is what I typically do my socks.
Because you're such a loose knitter. I forget.
Loosey-goosey.
Yes, you are.
So, yeah, it's like you can see through it. Not really.
What other non-owl project did you do?
Oh, so I had game duty the other night Friday night, we do spring football games, and they needed someone to stand around and monitor kids. And because it was 40 degrees out, there weren't a ton of kids there. So I did that, and I stood there and I worked on the hat.
Oh, the
Like
Cleckheaton. Now I can't remember which way is right. I think it's Cleckheaton.
Yeah. So I got all that yellow done
Yeah.
in 2 hours, and it was so cold, and my bosses were making fun of me. But look, I was like, when I get this hat done while I'm standing
It'll
here,
be
and
so
it goes on
warm.
my, I actually had another hat on, plus a hood, plus another hood. So, and I had a blanket, which I gave to one of my coworkers who was in a t-shirt. She was very sad. Well, we went from like 75 degrees the
Yeah.
day before to like 40, and that's how.
It happened here too. It was beautiful, like 65 degrees, and the next day it's below freezing, and I'm like, it's effing March. Like, it's spring.
Austin got snow again.
I know, I saw that.
Austin. It's very sad. Anyway, Click Heaton, very fine merino, and it is on size 6 needles now. So it was on 4s for the ribbing, now it's on 6s. I like how it's actually, it's a good yarn when my coworker who doesn't knit was like, let me look at the construction of that yarn. That's really interesting. And she's an English teacher, so not to say anything about English teachers, but they're usually not interested in the construction of things as a whole. I don't know. It's like
I
I
have
could
no
see my
basis.
super science geeky people doing it, but anyway, that's all I've all that's all. That's all I got.
Only 20
Now that I've
minutes worth of whips? You're slipping.
Mm.
Okay, I have a few works in progress. I have no finished objects. I'll go ahead and say that now. Because I just have not been feeling crafting this week. I just haven't really felt like it.
That happens.
I've been reading a lot, and I'll talk about a couple of the books later. A lot of it's just trashy sci-fi romance crap.
I love trashy sci-fi romance crap. That's my favorite.
So a couple of them were actual science fiction books, but anyway, so I've been doing a lot of reading at home versus crafting. The first that I have is the second Over the Rainbow sock.
Those. How cute.
This is number 2. This is the first one. This is a yarn by Fishnets. It's in her Strong Heart base. It is called After the Storm. And the pattern is a free one by Emily O'Grady called Vanilla Bean. So it's a simple slip stitch pattern for...
When the color changes.
Yeah, to give it a little more interest. And that's living in a Friday Studios bag.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah,
How
super
cute.
That is being knit on Knitter's Pride, not Platina, Novas.
Oh, I love the platinos.
And it is a 2.25 millimeter needle. The second thing that I have been working on this week is the Bridgewater shawl by Jared Flood. And I haven't knit a ton, but a little bit. Last week I had just turned the corner and started the decreases, so I'm about 3 inches past that at this point. This is in the Madeline Tosh merino lace in the Silver Fox colorway, and the pattern is Bridgewater by Jared Flood. Very, very simple garter stitch. This will go with me on my trip this week, and it is living in my Tangerine Designs Kaylee bag.
Aww.
The little strawberries. I knit on this yesterday and today, and that's it. So it hasn't gotten a whole lot of love. And then last night I started, so the ethereal tank.
Yeah.
I'm not knitting anymore. I sent it off. I'm like the queen of bartering.
You are so ridiculous.
I like bartering. I really want it, but I'm just not enjoying making it. And so
what happens if the person's gauge is totally different than yours?
Then she'll have to rip it out and fix it. I don't know. It's Gwen. She's crazy. She'll totally do it.
Yeah, she'll totally do that.
So I traded her a sweater lot of yarn to knit the tank for me. So,
Oh my goodness.
I know, right?
What kind of sweater lot did you give her? I'm just curious as to what the bartering's worth
Dream
nowadays.
in Color.
Hmm.
6 skeins of Dream in Color Smooshy. Well, the worsted, whatever that one is. Classy.
Classy.
Yes. And she's also putting a zipper in Delancey for me. So you tell me who made out better.
Oh, I don't. That's that whole time
I
versus money
know.
thing. I love it.
And I sent the
So ridiculous.
I sent your quilt off to be quilted. I have two different ladies who I'm working with on doing long arm barter service. So the
Let me
first,
back up for a second.
okay,
So, just for people who have not watched the show in the past, Gwen's name might sound familiar because Leslie sent her voyage off to her last year.
yes,
I
when I
mean,
got sick of knitting that, we actually met her at Maryland Sheep and Wool 3-4 years ago, briefly. And she lives close to me, a couple hours away, although now she's actually working in Boston, so she commutes back and forth every other weekend. And so she's got, her husband and dogs and everything are here, so she's got a lot of free time in the evenings when she's stuck there. So really, I'm helping her, if you want to, look at it that way.
you could look at it that way,
Um,
I suppose.
Plus, she offered. It's not like I was like, hey, do you want to... Like, she offered, so I was like,
Gwen's good people.
heck yeah. So,
I wish she was coming to SSK this
I
year.
know. Anyhow, I like to barter things. That's the whole
You
gist of
also
this
enjoy
episode.
thrifting.
Yes, I do when I can. And I am working with a couple of ladies who do long arm quilting. One lady does it as her profession, like she's got a whole studio and
That's
like
amazing.
that's her business.
Mama
Um,
Linneman probably wants to be her best friend.
and then I have another lady who that's not her job, but she sent me pictures and she does absolutely beautiful work. And that's the lady who I'm going to send the spools quilt to, and she wants hand spun, which is also fine. But anyway, the first lady that I'm sending it off is her website is Miss Marker's Quilts or Miss Maker's Quilts. I'll put it in the show notes. So I sent your quilt off to her today so that she can work on quilting that. And so that's part of the birthday present, but you won't get it for a little while. And she wanted socks. So what she chose, I had her just go through Ravelry, pick a pattern, and then pick some yarn from my stash.
Because Leslie's whole stash is on Ravelry.
Almost all, yeah, like 95% of it is on Ravelry. The anything I've gotten within the past couple months isn't there, but everything else is. So what she chose was Spring Showers, which is a pattern by
Oh,
Turtle Girl, I think.
yeah.
Christy Woolenberg.
Turtle Girl 76? Is that it?
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, I linked it in the show notes. It's not on here anywhere. And she chose skein yarn in the Fig colorway,
Ooh, that's
which
pretty.
was a great choice. And this is, I don't know the base name here. Let me pull it out. Top Draw.
Yes.
And it's in the Fig colorway. This is a
It's
merino
one of my
nylon.
favorites by them.
Yeah, I really like this color a lot.
You have a shawl that I knit out of Top Draw that I gave you for your birthday 2 years ago. The blue one?
Oh, yeah.
That's out of Top Draw.
Like asymmetrical one?
Yeah.
Yes. By Vera Valmaki.
Yes. Line break?
Line break. There you go.
Hmm.
I was like,
I knit it. Can I remember things? No. It was for Camp Loopy one year.
So I started it. This is
Look
what
at
it looks like.
those. Those are pretty.
It's showing up much darker than it really is. That's probably closer. So it's got a floral pattern on the top of the foot, and then once you get to the cuff, there's another floral. It goes around.
Cool.
So, but she has a tiny foot, like size 7. So
Wow, that's gonna go super fast.
yeah, so I'm waiting to get a foot length from her, so I'll make sure I don't make it too long because this is toe up. Toe up is not my preferred way to knit. I don't dislike it. Honestly, the reason I hate it more than anything else, which is a silly reason, is I don't like doing. I'd rather do decreases than increases. That's the whole reason. So anyway, those are being knit on size 2.25 millimeter Haya. I think they're the sharp ones. I can't remember. But anyway, I'm really liking the yarn. It feels really soft for being a nylon blend.
I love that yarn base.
Yeah, it's got some really pretty color play on it. So there we go.
I might have bought a lot last time I did
Yeah.
be shopping.
What else? Oh, I only have one other thing, and it's quilting related. So if that doesn't interest you, it's only take a second. I decided I would practice some free motion quilting just to see if I can do smaller projects. I have no
Yeah,
aspiration of doing any more large, like twin size or bigger quilts
yeah.
on my machine. It can be done, absolutely. I just don't enjoy it. So I decided, I was looking on Pinterest, where all good ideas seem to come from, good being a
That is
relative
true.
term. And
Where all knowledge in crafting is contained.
yeah, this is called the orange peel, and it's a pattern for free motion quilting.
Oh, cool.
And it's essentially you just draw circles, and then the circles intersect. And then when you go to quilt, you just quilt along this wavy line. It's actually really simple in concept. Not so simple when you're still trying to figure out the whole moving the paper versus moving the pen
Yeah.
process of free motion quilting, but it wasn't terrible, so I'll try it again. But this was just the first shot at it, and
Oh,
I liked it. It was relatively easy. I just used two scraps of fabric with some batting in the middle just to get a nice
feel
thickness.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is called orange peel. I think they're called pantographs for like patterns for the quilting. I'm not sure. And that's it. That is the completeness of all of my crafting for the week. I did take some
Cool.
fiber downstairs or upstairs to spin it, and never started.
What
So
did you take?
Three Waters Farm. Remember last year when she did two complementary colors of
Yeah, like
Scottish,
Scottish
yes,
landscape
and
and
cherry something.
yeah,
It's a red that's right there.
yeah.
But I took the Scottish landscape.
That's a good. I have that one too, I think. She just posted a picture of it on Instagram. It's
Mm-hmm.
a good one.
Yep.
So I finished Irene Adler.
Mm-hmm.
It is a shawl by Kirsten Kapoor. It's out of Volmaiza lace in a weird different colorway. I would say that it's probably closest to the Moses colorway. It was knit on size 6 needles.
Are you not going to show
And
us?
I'm not because I want to show it to you in person.
You
I don't want to
tease.
show you on the podcast. I want you. So this is Leslie's shawl that I'm giving her for her wedding,
Yeah.
and it's blocked. And I've sent pictures to all our friends.
I know. Renee texted me and she was like, "Man, Laura loves you," and I was like, "Send it to me."
It may be the most gorgeous thing I've ever seen in my life that I've knit. I'm really, really pleased with it.
Good.
And I didn't even like there came a point in the last 30 rows where I was like, I'm not even looking at rows below. Like I'm just moving up, and if there's a mistake,
It's just there.
it's there. And then I took a picture and sent it to people, and then I like zoomed in on the picture to see if there were any mistakes, and I can't see any big ones that are
Awesome.
glaring. So
Because if I
yay.
had a mistake, I just wouldn't take it. I would just
Yeah.
throw it back in your face and say, "Not good enough."
It does have around 200 silver beads. They are placed on the center decreases at the top, and then I took a page from Shipwrecks, and there's netting at the bottom, and I just placed them helter skelter. The way I did that was I very scientifically figured out that I was going to need 15 feet because it's like 5 foot wide.
Yeah.
That I would need 15 feet around about to knit a row.
Yeah.
And so I had 3 rows of lace and then a bind off to do. So I wound off around 100 feet because I wanted just some to be safe. And I clipped the yarn and then I strung on beads and then I took my ball winder and slowly wound them on and added beads as I was winding it into a cake.
Did it work? Like, were
Yeah.
you happy with the way that it worked? Good.
Yeah, I was very happy. I did have some beads that ended up more in the cake that I had to pull out and get those beads and move them up a little bit. But overall, it was a great way of doing it because that way I didn't have to deal with beads for the other
Yeah.
800 or so yards that I knit the shawl. It's around 900 yards. The total wingspan is 70 inches by 30 inches.
70 is 10 inches more than me, so.
Yeah, I think it'll work. I'm really, really happy with it. But I didn't want to show it on the podcast, even though it's done and it's blocked, because I want you to see it in person first.
Well, you can
And I'm
post
a jerk.
pictures
Yeah.
at the wedding or whatever on Instagram, or we
Yeah,
can
I'm gonna
share it next
post.
week.
Yeah, you can show it. Well, we won't be recording
Yeah,
next
the week
because you'll
after.
be getting married, but the week after, I figured you could show it. So that is
Well, I'm stoked. I'm excited to see
about
it.
it for that. Yeah. I can't believe I knit like a 900-yard shawl in a month.
Along with all of your owl projects.
Yeah.
So really, if you don't finish your owl, it's going to be my fault.
No, it's totally not your fault. I knew that going in. It's going to be like the 2 nights last week I decided to take a 4-hour nap rather than work on owl projects. That's whose fault it's going to be. I have no lack of ownership in my life. So we do have a question because we've been off topic for 90% of the podcast anyway. So we have a question from Kitty Van Cat, which might be the best name ever.
That's pretty awesome.
She says, I was wondering, and this might be silly, but when you swatch for a sweater or a large project that needs swatching, do you use the needles that you intend to use on the project, or do you use DPNs or straights? I use the needles I intend to use on the project.
I do as well, although in my case it may not matter as much. I've been told, I do not know how accurate the statement is, but I have been told that if you that your gauge can be affected based on the material the needles are made of.
My gauge totally changes based on
Whether
needles.
it's metal or wood or what have you.
Yep.
Um, so I would definitely, at the very least, use the type of needles you're going to use for your project. If you're going to use wood, then swatch with wood, absolutely. And whatever method the pattern is written in, swatch in that method. So if it's a circular or in the round sweater, then you need an in the round swatch. If you really want to be particular and specific and actually get the right gauge, you've got to do it that way.
Yep.
Otherwise, I don't know that it's like if you're going to use signature needles for an in the round or something that's knitted flat, but you want to swatch with what you happen to have with you, which is a set of, high sharps. Both are metal. I don't know that it would make
I
a huge
just worry that
difference.
they might be off a little bit from each other.
It's
Like if
very
you've ever
possible.
put needles that are supposedly the same size through a needle
A
sizer and they're
gauge, yeah.
totally different, I would just worry about that more than anything else.
So on the safe side, I think we would both say, yeah, probably I would use the needles that
Yes.
you plan on using. Although, if any of our viewers have any sort of, if they've seen a blog post or something to the effect of like the science of it, I would be interested in seeing that.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
I've heard even like the color of the yarn can affect it because some of the darker colored yarns have more dye. And that, so Cascade, let's just use Cascade 220. Like Cascade 220, if you're swatching in white versus like a black, it can actually affect it because the dye molecules take up space
hmm.
as well.
I wonder if it also is like, how color can affect mood. I wonder if that's also a factor. So
Oh, there you
if
go.
you
Like
knit with a
swatching
color that
photos.
makes you angry, then
I
maybe you knit tighter. I don't know. I'm
would think
curious.
like because like with black you're straining more too to see the
Hmm.
stitches. You might knit differently than if it was a lighter color yarn. That's very interesting.
So really, we
Anyway,
didn't answer your question at all. We
we
just brought more
did.
questions, but
We're good at bringing more questions to the plate. But what are you reading? You said you were reading all my favorite books. So I'm
yes.
curious as to what you're reading.
So I read some sort of trashy sci-fi romance novels. Um, Let me see if I can pull them up real quick. I also read a couple that weren't so trashy, but still had some elements of romance in them. One of them was called A Change, which is sort of sci-fi in the respect of um, immortals, which have a genetic difference from normal people, and they can heal really fast and all that, which was
Mm.
it's okay. Um, I also read Honor Bound, which is by Michelle Howard, and that's a person two different races of aliens who, have this blood feud with each other. It's like a Romeo and Juliet sort of thing.
Huh.
That one was okay. I tried Priceless, which is a Riley Adamson book by Shannon Mayer, and the protagonist just annoyed the living crap out of me. She was so like, I'm not pretty, why do you like me? It just made me crazy. So I got 10% in and I just gave up on it. And the other that I read and liked was called Master of Crows by Grace Drobin. And apparently she's one that a lot of people read, her and Alona Andrews. Like, they're similar.
Alona Andrews is the bestest.
So I really liked Master of Crows. It was much more fantasy than science fiction, but it was good.
Have you read any of the Alona Andrews?
I haven't yet, no. No, I have to, though.
They're my favorites.
And then for audiobooks, I moved on to Cursor's Fury, which is the third in the Jim Butcher Fury series. And I've only got a couple hours left on that. I liked it, so I've been listening to it this week. That's it.
Oh, I have been dragging my feet about reading Throne of Glass for like 6 years. Not 6 years. I got an ARC of this, an advanced reader copy, probably 3 years ago. And I've just been dragging my feet.
It's no longer advanced.
No. And so it came in, I bought it from my library because I'm like the last library ever to own this. But I don't have a ton of sci-fi kids. And this isn't, or fantasy kids. But I do this year. I have like 3 boys that are very into fantasy. So I picked it up and I really, really liked it. And the back makes it sound super dumb. But it's really good. Basically, it's a girl who's an assassin. I'm always down with the assassins.
Oh, yeah. Strong female characters. I'm all about it.
But she knows she's pretty, which I thought was going to get on my nerves, but it really didn't. That would be my only criticism. So she's been, she was caught somehow, and her boyfriend was killed in the capturing process, and she is sent to the mines, and most people the average lifespan in the mines is like 3 weeks, and she lasts a whole year. And there's a prince, of course.
Of course.
And the prince's father is kind of a jerk. And he decides that he needs like a pet assassin to go murder all his political enemies. And so he makes a contest amongst all the dukes where, they have to bring their best fighter. And so the prince locates her. And and of course the prince has like the captain of his guards, who's his bestie. But they decide to grab her and make her their champion, and someone's killing all the something is killing the contestants as well. So there's that element. So it's good fantasy. My public library, I didn't buy the second one for my library yet because I wanted to see how popular this was. The public library had the second one on for download, and it was actually in, so I grabbed it. So I'll start reading that probably tonight. I've also been rereading the Archangels series by Nali Singh, which is probably not the correct way to pronounce her name, but I've been rereading all those. The last one came out, and which is like number 8 or 9, and so I started rereading all those. I've already read the last one, but I'm rereading it again because, as you do. That's about it for me. Favorite things. Thank you, everyone. Y'all are the best for giving me birthday wishes. So much fun to go on Ravelry and Instagram and see all the birthday wishes and Facebook. So thank y'all. So favorite things are your faces because they are awesome. And I was a little bit worried, I'm not going to lie, about the Kickstarter conversation last week. And y'all were so sweet.
Yes.
And
I got several people who texted me and said, I'm really glad that you addressed it in a non-confrontational way.
So I was a little bit worried because anytime you say something that could be
construed as negative,
yes, then I worry about it. So anyway, thank y'all. Y'all are awesome for everything. We do have a drawing for the Elegant Economy patterns, which are really, really cool. It's her date night collection, which looks like this. And we reviewed them last week.
Stop taking my words, lady.
Stop stealing my mojo. I don't even know what you're stealing. It's not mojo. It's something.
All right. We have numbers 2 through 215 or something?
216.
216. Okay. 216.
Let me go ahead and lock that thread so no one else
Okay.
posts.
I have not pushed the button. I'll push the button, and it says
Cool.
the number is 154, which should be the 7th page.
777. 154 is diboral.
Oh, yes.
D-I-D.
Dieborl. Yeah, she posts
Yes.
in our group all the time.
There we go. Letters, words. Man, it's a Monday. And she loves the Irving cardigan, and now she's going to get the mail to her. So just send me, Lala, a PM on Ravelry, and I will send them your way. I'm very distracted by the people's gorgeous ravatars. Who's that pink lady's got this gorgeous shawl right below her. Man, that's pretty. Anyway, so just PM me, and I'll get this your way. If you are interested in donating a door prize to SSK, we are accepting door prizes. Just let me know. Send me a PM, and I will get back with you. So that's exciting. SSK is like right around the corner.
All the final prep stuff will start happening soon. We'll
Yep.
finalize the last of the goodie bag items, and we're working on class selections now.
Yep, and then we'll open classes for people to post their first, second, and third choices.
Yep. And then roommate assignments will come after that. So
Yep.
usually do roommates about 6 weeks out to try to lessen any changes from people who end up having to drop for whatever reason. So
Classes aren't much different on that
Yeah.
as well. SSK is also going to have a Cal number 2. The Susan B. Anderson knit along is over.
tomorrow night, midnight?
I think it's tomorrow night. It might be April 1st. And then we'll start a new one. It is on any pattern of any designer who's attending SSK. And I'll open a thread, and if you are a designer who is attending SSK, you can post there. I will post there, and I'll probably give a coupon code as well, because it is my 34th birthday, and I think that deserves a coupon code.
I agree.
So that will be located in there, and even if you're not attending SSK, you can totally use the coupon code as well.
I think it's a
So
good way to
that-
get people that might be lesser known sort of get their name out there too.
I'm a designer. Leslie's a designer. Paula Emmons Feasley's attending. She's a designer. There are so many that I can't even think straight
there's
right now.
tons. Susan
So-
Pandorf,
Yeah.
epic designer, will be there.
Yes, and there are several teachers who are they're included.
They're being
too.
paid
So
to come.
if you had another Susan B. Anderson project in mind and you really wanted to knit that other one,
Rock on.
it's only for brand new projects that will start April 1st, not works in progress.
Yeah.
Because I mean like that. And of course, there's an ongoing cal for preemie hats and chemo caps and hats for homeless.
Yep.
That we are doing. So
All the
that's
details
it.
for that are in the SSK Ravelry group thread.
Yes. That's a group on Ravelry called SSK. So
And we also wanted to just thank everybody for voting and participating in the scholarship selection. We talked last week about the person who won, and that's RN1096, and we introduced her in a thread. So because of you guys, she'll be coming to SSK. And that's wonderful. We're totally stoked about that and are really happy to have Three Waters Farm as our sponsor. So definitely if you're in the market for new fiber, you should check out their top of the month club or just check out what they have in their shop. It's threewatersfarm.etsy.com.
then I have one last thing that I totally skipped over because all the S's were running together. There was SSK, Stash S, SSK, Scholarship. So Stash Dash will begin Memorial Day, which is May
It's the last Monday in May.
I will not, typically we do it after I get out of school. It's looking like June 1st for me to get out of school this year. But I know at least one person contacted me and asked when it would be so that they could double dip with the Loopy Academy.
Oh, that's
So
smart.
I would like y'all to be able to do that if you're participating in anything that ends in May. Be able to use that yardage
Plus,
as
you
well.
can plan ahead. Like right now, you could get a bunch of socks up to the toe and then just stick them on waste yarn and then finish all the toes as soon as it starts and bam, you get your yardage. We are so cheater friendly, y'all.
We are very cheater friendly. What Stash Dash is it's a way to use up stash.
It's an
Um,
incentive for the summer months to finish those lingering projects.
and even start new projects. It can be either or. I'm going to do all new projects, I think, this year
Yeah,
because my whips are getting pretty small.
I don't
So
know. We shall see.
I don't know. So I'm probably going to cast on a sweater this weekend when I go to on the way to Leslie's because I'm going to convince my parents are invited to her wedding too. So I'm
Yes.
totally going to convince them to drive
So you get all
so
the
I
wedding
can.
time.
Yep, I'm going to. I swatched for sitting back here. Um, I swatched this Blueface Luster blend from Miss Babs a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I'm going to find a sweater. It's a little bit big. I like the drape on it, but it's a little bit oversized for what I was going to use it for. So I'm back to the drawing board on that. But luckily, the brand new Amy Herzog book just came.
Yes, and we'll be reviewing that in 2 weeks. So we're really stoked. She sent that to us for review, and we won't be doing a show next week because I'm getting married and I'm going to be out of town. So it's not going to be real convenient to make that happen. But
Stop your wedding so we can record.
um, anyway, yeah. So Thursday I leave. We get
Yeah.
there a day early because we're going to buy all the food and liquor and take care of the marriage license stuff and all that junk. And then most people come in Friday evening. And we rented this big, huge, like, lodge that sleeps 30,
I
35
already
people.
told Wheezy, I was like, we are leaving at 6 a.m. Friday morning. I need all the Leslie time I can get.
And so we have my dad and his significant other, Laura's mom and dad, and Michael's dad and stepmom all have rooms off site because we figured they're real grown ups and they probably don't want to have to deal with a bunch of kids, and I still consider myself a kid, sort of. So we got them real rooms at a hotel just a little ways down the road, but basically it's just hanging out for the weekend. That's really all I want.
Yep.
I think our wedding ceremony is going to take 3.5 minutes. So
I told the kids today, I was like, I'm going to a wedding. They asked what I was doing for my birthday, and I was like, I'm going to a wedding this weekend. I'm super excited. It's destination to Jasper, Arkansas.
yeah.
They start laughing, and they're like, "What are you gonna do in Arkansas, Miss Little?" I was like, "Well, there's all these things like hiking," and they just looked at me and they started laughing. They were like, "Okay." Yeah, I
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah, I'm not going hiking."
I'm not either. I plan to sit and knit and eat and chat,
Do you
and
want me to bring you a spinning wheel?
that's pretty much it. No,
Okay.
I appreciate it though. I plan to do as little as possible, really. Just chill.
I think that's an exceptionally good idea.
So we will see you guys in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Hope that you have a wonderful first couple of weeks of April. Get your
And if
taxes
you
done if you
celebrate
haven't.
Easter,
Yes, if you celebrate
happy
Easter, we
Easter.
hope it's a nice, restful, and fun weekend with your loved ones. And yeah, I think that's it.
Awesome.
So y'all
Well,
have a
I'm gonna
great weekend.
go enjoy some cake. I'll talk to y'all later.
Bye,
Bye,
y'all.
y'all.